Okay, here we go then. I suppose I kind of have to start off by saying welcome to my YouTube channel. Is that right? YouTube channel? YouTube channel. I managed to pick the brightest day of the month so far to begin. But we're here, we've started, and if anybody follows me on Instagram, you'll know that I am really big on kind of making myself feel uncomfortable and pushing myself just outside of my comfort zone. And I can tell you that this is outside of my comfort zone. I do not enjoy walking around in public, filming myself talking to camera, but I'm doing it, and that's all that matters. There'll be another episode on that at some point later on, but I thought we'd start off just by showing you around the new office and the studio. So let's go and have a little look. I moved in November last year. Again, taking a little risk, but without risk there's no reward, right? I'm sure there were some other things I had to tell you about, but before we do, let's cut to the intro and I'll show you around. Okay, so here she is, built in 1782 I'm told. But let's get up these stairs and have a little look round. So I'll definitely get my steps in coming up here. Just the 3 flights. There we go. Okay, here she is. Okay, here we go, we're in the studio. There we go, a couple of prints on the wall from the amazing India Hobson. I'll put a link to her Instagram in a bit. I'm actually joking, this isn't the studio, this is the entrance way to the studio. Would you like to see the real space? Shall I take you in? Shall we go in through the magic door? Here we go. Ooh, ooh. And we're in. We're in the space. There's Amy beavering away. Say hi, Amy. You can meet Amy in a little bit. We'll do that next. But yeah, this is it. This is the space. Brickwork studio. Do you like it? Do you like what you see? I kind of took it. Oh, I'm so annoyed with myself. I know. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep filming it. Yeah, I'll just do that. I keep fluffing my words. And it's because this is so alien to me, but I believe in the process, and I believe in the purpose and the goal of this project. So let's get back to what I was talking about. Why did I take this space on? So a couple of reasons really. The main and the primary reason was to be able to have my own space to allow me to kind of create the content that I needed to get the course off the ground, which has now happened. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that launched a few weeks ago. But it was also just to open up potential to new ideas that I just couldn't have explored whilst I was in the previous space, because there were other people in that studio. Whereas now this is my space. I can film when I want, which is great, and it has opened up a few more doors to things that just would never have happened. So, you know, we're close to getting a podcast up. We're close to getting a podcast off the ground with my friend Igor. We are starting a YouTube channel, which is this here, right here. It's starting, and as Amy said to me earlier, done is better than perfect. So I want to refilm every little section when I mess it up, but I've got to let go of that. I've got to let go of it being perfect. This is a process, this is a lesson, and I'm going to learn so much from doing this. But before we get into all of that stuff, let's just show you around the space. So we have over here just a studio backdrop, and then this is the kind of main workshop space where, you know, we've already had a few kind of photographers and videographers host workshops here, which has been great. We have built a studio within the space just so that if this space is being used by somebody, that we can carry on working whilst they're here and using the space. And this is our little studio. Okay, and here we are. This is the heart of the studio. This is our kind of workspace where we've spent the last few months kind of finalising the e-course for wedding photographers, and oh, there's going to be a lot. I tell you, I'm going to get some good bloopers out of this. There's going to be a lot of outtakes. I suppose I wanted to kind of just address what it is that this channel is going to be about, and why I've decided to make myself feel so uncomfortable and terrified. And I suppose it's because I really wanted to just open up the doors to the studio in this space and to let you guys in to see what goes on within a creative business, and hopefully to kind of help and inspire you in your journey and your businesses to realize that there's no ceiling. Like, you can take it as far as you want it to take, as far as you want to take it. We haven't really achieved anything massive here, but I'm definitely in a place of excitement and nerves and what else? How else do we feel, Amy? Amy, I don't know if you can see Amy in shot. Amy works for me and is also a wedding photographer in her own right, and she's looking at me going, just get on with it. Stop worrying. Like, done is better than perfect. And I have to keep reminding myself that this is a process, and this doesn't feel comfortable to me. Like, far from it. But I know that I believe in the bigger picture, and I believe in the journey and the process, and that in a year or so's time, I'm going to sit back and look at these early episodes and go, God, what a car crash. But if I held myself to that level of expectation and standard now, like, it has to be perfect. Nothing would ever get achieved. I'd walk away from it and leave it. But I don't want to. I want to let you guys into this space, into the studio, into the experience and the journey, and to show you where we can take our business and what you can do and the possibilities that are out there. So yeah, I genuinely hope that anybody watching it, wherever you are, that you can take a little something away from each episode that we decide to put out. That there's a little nugget in there that might just kind of alter the direction of your business. It might help you with certain things, or it might just inspire you, or it might just open your eyes to some new possibility. So in a nutshell, that is it. That's the introduction. There's going to be loads more to come. What have we got to do today, Amy? What's on the jobs list?
Reels, or a reel.
Got to do a reel today. Okay, yeah, what else? What else can I do before I do the reel? We've got the prints to send, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got the prints.
We've got the prints to send. So we're going to wrap up the USBs and print boxes from last year's weddings, and I'm going to make a coffee first. Not a Peter McKinnon coffee, because I haven't got that kitchen, but I'm going to go make a coffee with my Nespresso machine, and then we'll crack on with the next job. Okay. So hopefully that gives you just a bit of an idea of what it is we're trying to do here. It isn't even just talking to camera that scares me and makes me kind of really question what I have to do. It's just the little things, like how I transition between shots. Hold on one second. Like, I don't know, just the level of attention and thought that has to go into moving between scenes, and those kind of, as my friend Dan would say, establishing the shots that you need to get. Hence why we're at a coffee machine. Let's be honest, as a photographer, I don't have to think about that. Photographers have got it pretty easy, haven't they, really? We don't have to think about any of this telling the story. We kind of do in a sense, but not to the same level that a video has to come together. But again, this is about the process, and I might put this on the computer tomorrow, put it all together and think, no, there is no chance on earth I'm going to let this video see the light of day. But that'd be a bit of a waste of a day's work, wouldn't it? I really need to commit and just believe that this will come together and it will tell a story, and it will make you feel like you've been in the studio for 10, 15 minutes of your day, and you get to see what's going on, and you get to watch me make a coffee. I'm sorry, it's just this. Nothing too special. Oh, that's a sugar jar. We don't want the sugar jar. Let's go with. I'll go with this one. So one thing I'm trying to do here as well is to just do all of these shots in one take, and to not get drawn into the idea that they're not perfect. I need to refilm it, I need to redo it, the audio wasn't great there, or I fumbled my words a little bit. I'm gonna fumble my words. This is very surreal, and I'm not experienced in talking to camera without a script. But we'll get there, I hope. We'll find out. So, as well, I think it's really important to kind of just always remind ourselves that we should always be like a work in progress. Like, we live in this age, don't we, of comparison culture, and just seeing other people in those industries or producing that content to a level that is often beyond our abilities when we're starting. It's very rare that you see somebody come into an industry and just hit the ground running and be like, wow, that's incredible. It just doesn't happen, because there's always so much to learn. And for me, one of the big things that I changed over the last few years with my approach to business and what I'm trying to do is that I just switched my mindset to be one of growth and development, and to realize that when I'm comfortable and I just think I'm just moving along and everything's fine, that's often not the greatest place to be. Like, sometimes you've got to scare yourself, and you've got to do things that, like I am here, make you feel a little bit terrified. Because only good things can come from that eventually. If I held the quality and the output of these videos to the standard that maybe big YouTubers of the world hold themselves to, I wouldn't publish it. It wouldn't be done. But if that was the case and I didn't do it, I wouldn't learn anything. I'd pick up no new skills. I would never evolve, develop, or change, or improve. I would just carry on doing what I've always done. And there comes a time when sometimes you've just got to mix it up a little bit. So I suppose really that's what I'm doing here. This is me mixing it up. So yeah, here's to being a little bit scared and making yourself feel uncomfortable. Okay, next job for today is to get the USBs and the prints sent out for the final few weddings of 2021. Thought it was 2021 last week. It's not, it's 22. Right, so I still send just like a little personalised box of prints to my couples, with a little USB stick which holds all the images on and their slideshow. And I've heard a lot of people recently talking about not sending USBs, and I totally get it. Like, there will come a point when, and it's probably not far off, where USBs are the modern day equivalent of maybe the floppy disk. Anybody under the age of 30, you probably don't know what a floppy disk is, but they were a thing. It's not a made up word. I think like floppy disks were like 25, 30 megabytes of storage. I mean, it's just ridiculous now. You couldn't even get an image on that. And I understand why people are saying don't send USBs. They can be like a little bit of a, they can be seen as like the graveyard for your wedding photos. They just get shoved in a drawer and left to gather dust, and that's fine. I get it. You know, from later on this year, I'll be offering kind of downloads only for my images. The USB will get dropped once I basically run out of my supply of USBs. That said, I'll always send a parcel. I'll always send a little box of prints. Never underestimate the value of something that, you know, your client's going to receive that's tangible and they can see and feel. And just having your images in print, you know, it's more about the client experience than it is just sending them a box of images. You know, that's huge. Like them getting a box of images that they probably weren't expecting as well. If you can do it in a way that is like a little bonus at the end, and they weren't expecting to receive that parcel, you're just adding to that customer experience, and you're giving them a reason to, you know, go away and talk about you positively. Like, wow, have you seen they might tag it on Instagram, they'll shout about you. You know, if you add that into your kind of workflow, it can be absolutely invaluable. So the USB will get dropped for me, but I'm still going to send a box of prints for as long as I'm a wedding photographer. It's still going to happen. So, right, time to get on with making these few up. And this is one of those tasks that always takes way longer than I ever expect. It's like, oh, this just take me 10 minutes. It's probably more like 3 hours, but let's crack on. There we go, you see, how lovely is this? It's a little box with some notes on it, personalised, and there's a little box of prints and a USB beneath. I tell you. Although that said, it doesn't matter how many times I do this, I'll go to the post office tomorrow stressing that I've put the wrong USB with the wrong images. Gets me every time, but just have to hope that I've not made that mistake today. There we have it. 4 boxes done. We'll find out next week whether I've put the right USBs and the right prints in the right box. Next up, we're going to do a reel. I mean, does anybody want to do reels? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why we do one in a little bit. I think I might just go and get another coffee. Right, okay, before we get into the reels, I just wanted to very, very quickly give you a bit of a rundown on the kit we're using and the kit we've invested in order to produce the content for this channel. Because I've got to be honest, this isn't our first attempt at filming for YouTube.
I mean, they are in there.
They are in there?
Yeah.
Okay, how do I look? Like shit. Here we are. No. Of the very first, no. There's been a chainsaw going up. No. Oh, filming. No. That was close though. Got loads of the floor. You might be. No. The very first. No.
Is that right?
Oh, for God's sake! Jesus. When we moved in the office, we did 2 episodes. We did a moving in and we did a setting up. Kind of, I suppose, like a bit of a pilot episode, really. And actually, there's a real value in just doing something and just trying it. I love the idea that people just get out there and do it and they put content out. And I'm trying to embrace that mentality. But actually, there's a lot to be said for just trying something and just accepting that you're not going to publish it. But the idea is that you're going to learn from it. And one of the big takeaways that we took, that sounds a bit odd, but okay, you know what I mean. One of the big takeaways was that we were filming on a piece of kit. Let me just show you what we were filming on. We were filming on this, Canon R6 and the 15-35, which at first attempt isn't too bad, but I mean, you might notice I'm not exactly Jack Reacher. If you've seen Jack Reacher, you'll know what I mean, right? After about 2 or 3 minutes, this starts to become a little bit meaty and a bit heavy, and it just stopped me being mobile. And I wanted to make sure that the content that we were filming was at times fluid and just natural, and I could move around a bit, and that stopped me. So I'd already got the DJI Osmo Pocket 2, I think it's called, but the quality on that isn't as great as I wanted it to be. So decided to invest in the Sony ZV-1 with the Sennheiser mic, and you'll also notice that we've attached to the top of that the DJI Action 2 mini cam, really just to give us a bit of a different viewpoint as I'm moving around. Give it a few weeks, give us a little bit more time to use it and to experiment with it, and we'll do an episode on just reviewing and comparing those 3 cameras. But for now, that's what we're using to create this content, and the R6 on the tripod every now and then. I'm really trying to put off doing a reel, so I could just talk for a little bit longer, but no, Amy's looking at me going, no, you need to go and do the reel. So I need to go and do the reel. That's it for now. Just hold on 1 second, Gary. Yeah, I can get those for you. They'll be 20 quid each, yeah? Cool. Okay. And then it's back to the phone. Oh, sorry about that, Gary. Just some supplier wanting images. But yeah, where was I? Just so Instagram, it just doesn't get me any traffic. I don't know. It's just not worth it for me. Okay, so that's the reel done for today. Well, we've done the filming bit. I've got to do the edit and upload in a little bit. And I think it's important to note that we don't just pluck them out of thin air. We have a joint shared Trello board that we just dump ideas into over time, and when we come to do a reel, we just go through them and go, oh, which one feels right, which one feels like it's kind of current, or it might be on brand, it might have the right message, and then we just pad it out and create a bit of a script and go for it. They don't just appear out of nowhere. We don't just sit down and go, let's do a reel. What are we going to do? Oh, I don't know. What shall we do? It doesn't work like that. That's not the process. If you don't use Trello, it's great just for having like boards and just kind of keeping notes as you go. I often find that I get my best ideas, or no, I wouldn't say the best, but I get a lot of my ideas either when I'm going to bed, or I'm in the shower, or I'm just chilling out, or whatever it might be, and I'll have an idea and I just need to put it in my phone. So I just open up Trello, bang it into my phone, and it's there then for the future to draw back on. I think it's also worth noting that if you're going to do reels, that you keep them on brand and you think about who your target client is and you appeal to them. And again, it's always trying to keep like a positive message. I won't get drawn into moaning about things or being negative or dancing around. If that's your bag, then that's your bag, but you're not going to see me doing reels pointing to things on the screen, because that's not my cup of tea. So right, time to just get that reel edited, and then we'll wrap this thing up. And that's a wrap. That's the reel posted. We're about done for the day. I've no idea how this is going to go tomorrow when we look at the edit. But it's not about anything else other than just learning. It's about the process. This video isn't going to go and get stacks of views straight off the bat. It's not going to. This is about just understanding the process and just figuring things out as we go and just taking those learnings and lessons away. So that's it. That's it for today. What do you want to see? What topics do you want us to address? It'd be great to kind of get your ideas and thoughts on what you'd like to see going forward. So drop it in the comments below. Let us know. And hopefully we'll start to kind of build up a bit of an idea as to what we're going to film going forward. So I think that's it. How do I wrap this up? Do I just leave it? I'll just get up and I'll just walk away. I think we're done. Amy, is there anything else you need to add? No. Amy says it's okay, and I just need to leave it alone. So yeah, I'm gonna go now.